What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the ComicManAndy Comic Cave and Comic Dojo. It's new Comic Book Day Wednesday. Hit subscribe, kick that notification bell, and smack one of those reaction buttons. Because it's time to talk some comic books. And we got ourselves a nice little stack of books. Not too bad, super manageable as far as reading goes. I'm pretty excited to share these. We got a back issue find. We got a surprise package in the mail. And some great reads today. So we're going to see who's tailgating in the chat here before we get into this. And holy moly, Comic Book Principal, what is up, man? Mihu Seaman, what is up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Comic Book Principal, there you are. Zuni with a little fist bump action for a Wednesday. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. And we have got a first timer for the month heading up here, middle of the month. And we bought a DC book. Yes, we did. Where's Don Davis? House of L Comics. We bought a DC book this week. Luke's Comics is in the chat. What is up, man? Come on, Mama is in the chat. Good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for being here for New Comic Book Day. And while people continue to roll in and warm up, we're just going to get here. We're already here. We're going to get cozy up by the fire and get into some of these books. Because, yes, we got a DC book. And I was super excited for an entry into that Sandman universe, Nightmare Country from James Tynion IV. And I was a little skeptical at first. Now, for those of you guys that have followed the channel for quite some time, I've read Sandman with Downright Nerdy Podcast and Bored and Annoyed Podcast in one of our back and forths between the channels. We've also read chunks of Sandman, a large portion of the Sandman run on the Comic Core Modern Men. You can find that on the channel. So I was pretty kind of like a little reserved at first. And then somebody said, well, it's James Tynion writing it. And I'm like, well, I didn't pay attention to my emails. I don't know what's going on right now. I've been so busy. And I'm checking out some of the covers. And I'm like, okay, I'll just grab a cover A. I mean, there was a really, really, really sick Frizen 1 in 100 that I'm like, if I see one floating around, I might check out the price. Well, all of the copies that my LCS got all sold, and they all sold for $200. And it sounds like on the secondary market, that 1 in 100 Frizen is selling for more than that. So new thing that we'll get into today after we get through these books at the tail end of the show. For people that are interested in staying, we've got a little bit of extra time because there's so few books this week. We'll get on League of Comic Geeks and talk about some of the hits, some of the misses, and some of the things that I just wasn't quite sure to settle with or not. But yes, that's a DC book. Like, yes, you guys should. I'm proud of myself for grabbing a DC book. Now, I should have gone in yesterday and actually seen if I could find a couple of the other variants. And that's another reason why I want to get on the League of New Comic Geeks, show you guys live some of the variants that were available for that cover that I missed out on. But I'm happy with the cover A. It reads well. It's Tynion. You know it's going to read really well. The art is good. It is creepy. It is a little graphic. It is a little horrific. And that's kind of exactly what I expect from Tynion. I'm interested to see where this goes. It's going to hit my pull list. And at least for the next 6 issues, kind of ride that wave, so to speak, and see what happens. But yes, so moving from DC to Marvel, holy moly, I can't believe we got a DC book. Darth Vader, issue 22. Issue 22 is out. The pack run continues to be good. And here we have Crimson Dawn doing fisticuffs. Well, at the throats of the Empire. I mean, they're right at the doorstep. There's a battle going on, and Lord Vader is at the helm. Pretty decent issue. I enjoyed it. I skipped out on the variants this week on this one. Lo and behold, got kind of lucky. Remember, we talked about adjusting what we were picking up as far as ratio variants and other variants and whatnot. It kind of boiled down to a lot of the Star Wars variants that I said I was going to go full ham on. It got reversed, and I'm okay with that for this week because it made life a little bit easier as far as reading and as far as collecting goes. And then we're getting back onto the Star Wars stuff because honestly, Darth Vader 22, the 1 in 25, I wasn't really digging. The Raza variant with that Chewbacca cover, I was really digging, and I would have picked that one up, except for the copy that my LCS got was damaged. Hopefully we see or get a chance at a replacement copy. Or better yet, maybe I should just stick that FOMO in the back pocket and wait for that book to cool off. I don't know what it's even selling for. I didn't check online prices or secondary prices anywhere. So like I said, we're going to stick that FOMO in the back pocket and set it aside right there. But Elektra 100 comes up now. I don't recall having Elektra on the pull list. So this means either Elektra Black, White, and Red has ended and it's moving on to issue 100, or that Daredevil Elektra crossover. I haven't caught up on the Zdarsky reads, But here we are with Lecture 100. There must be a continuation of the story in this book is what I'm guessing. I might be wrong. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll get into this later. There is quite the lineup of the creative team. I don't think I've ever seen this many credits for a creative team on a book in one shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And without butchering the two names too much, Nascenti, Cotitan, Delgado, Shelby, Raffelli, Rosenberg, Templeton, Jairiso. Ooh, yeah, I'm bad with names, but that's 8 people on there. I don't know what's going on. This might just be a crossover. I don't know. If it was a crossover event, it would be titled and it would be advertised a lot heavily, right? Or a lot more heavily. Either way, I trust the guys at my LCS that sometimes if I don't add something to my pull list and they have extra copies and it's something that I'm interested in, they oftentimes will throw it in there for me so that I can catch up on it later. I really appreciate it. That about those guys. It's customer service beyond that's beyond customer service. That's like looking out for your readers, right? Because they know what I like to read after all the years I've been buying through them. So that's it for Marvel. Holy crap, it's a light week. It's a light week. Stay tight, everybody. As soon as we get through these books, we're gonna hit up this chat. And like I said, that's it for DC. That's it for Marvel. We're into the indies. And Guggenheim's Last Flight 6 is out. I was really, really excited for this series after reading the first 2 issues, and then I got to realize that issues 3 and 4 got a little long-winded. Something happened in the storyline that I think could have been completely left out, and they would have had more time to tie up the series. So, unfortunately, here we are, last issue in the series, miniseries, and they have to wrap everything up in one issue. And sadly, the outcome is quite predictable. I was really hoping for some twists and turns at the end. I was hoping for some really big surprises. Guggenheim's writing is good. It's just the pacing. The fact that they tried to fit everything into 6 issues hurt the pacing a lot, and they're left with a predictable ending and then 2 pages where they kind of jump in the timeline to show that something has happened. And unfortunately, this really needed to be a 12-issue maxi series, in my opinion, to really kind of iron out or flesh out a story that's there's a lot of potential there for a story like that. We haven't had something sci-fi like that, end of the world apocalyptic sci-fi like that on a new Wednesday release in a while. When it comes to like a space, could be a space epic. Oh my god, yeah, I don't know. Either way, so still with the indies. The last book you'll ever read is number 7 is out. And this is obviously, I'm just going to go with that title. It's the last book I'll ever read. I keep sending every issue to the reading pile and I keep forgetting to read it. It's Colin Bunn. That's why we had it on the pull list. We're going to continue to see where that goes and sit down and get that rainy day Colin Bunn read in and get caught up on that. So that's not quite it. There's still quite a few more books. But like we said, there was a back issue find that was great. And we got a surprise package today. And we have another great surprise. So as many of you guys know, today was the next Mac Pack release for Something is Killing the Children for issues 11 through 15. And 11 through 15, right? That's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. That's less than $10 a book for, what was it? Sticker price was $39.99. That's under $10 a book for killer Mac variants. And I'm absolutely digging it. But wait, there's more. Issue 11. And somehow in this Mac Pack, we got doubled up on issue 11 in the Mac Pack. And the reason why that is epic is issue 11 is the first full appearance of the old dragon. So a great key in that second story arc, issue 11. Yeah, in the second story arc for Something is Killing the Children with the old dragon first appearance. And to get 2 copies in the Mac Pack, unless they put 2 copies in every Mac Pack, I just scored a really lucky win right there. That is pretty freaking cool. And these Mac variant covers are epic. Issue 12, issue 13. Love the black border on that. Issue 14. I love the use of space. I love the watercolor in the images. And then issue 15. So no joke. Not only did we get all of the issues in that Mac Pack, but then we got doubled up on issue 11. Holy crap, that was super cool. So that's the first 15 issues. So there was 3 Mac Packs for the first 15 issues of Something is Killing the Children. At that point, when you start getting into issue 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and beyond, I think that's all of the Mac variants that I'm going to grab. I'm not going to grab each pack as it comes out because all of the major first appearances that I'm digging collecting are all within those first 8, 9, 10 issues so far, 11. So 11 through 15. 11 was the first appearance of the Old Dragon. So there you have it. In 10 minutes and 30 seconds flat, that's new comic book date. But wait, there's more books before we get into the chat here. Another awesome back issue find, and I love finding great high grade copies of Star Wars books that I don't have. Star Wars Legacy 3, tons of first appearances in here. And I could swear that the white background was the second print, but the barcode has the 0311. So it's a first print. So was the darker background the second print and was the white background the first print? I'm getting my printings mixed up. There is an additional printing for issue 3. I can't find it anywhere online for sale, so I can't find any comps to figure out which one is the first print, and which one is the second print. So maybe somebody here in the chat tonight can educate me on which one is the first print. But that was a great grab in high grade. I think it just needs a little bit of light cleaning. There's a little bit of dirt. But wait, there's more. So as you guys saw in the IG posting, we did get, oh my God, you can't even. Yeah. So that Something Is Killing the Children. I love foil, gold foil. And it's not just the gold that's foiled. It seems it's almost like maybe it is just the gold, but there's so much going on there. And it's like almost like the whole cover is foiled out. This thing is absolutely stellar. I'm hoping that this is a 9.8 candidate to get graded. I would love to have that in a 9.8. It's going to be tough. There's going to be lots of issues with that book. You can't even see it. It's in stealth mode. The dang thing is in stealth mode. There's going to be lots of issues with the all black cover, the back. I mean, the second I took it out without a pair of gloves, I realized, well, crap, there's 2 fingerprints on that thing. So getting fingerprints off of foil covers can be difficult because if you're not careful, using certain items will immediately scratch the foil, scratch the surface, and then you're sure to get a 9.6, 9.8. So I got to kind of look into how to get those fingerprints off on my own and then just send it in for grading. There's one corner I want to take a look at that might have just the subtlest printing flair, kind of a Ric Flair-esque, if you will, where it's still high quality. It's still full of energy, but it's a little bit of flair. And I mean, if it's not going to make a 9.8, that's okay too. I still want to get it graded and encapsulated. I don't know what the print run that's going to be, but it's limited only to the Substack membership group, the Founders Tier members group of the Tinian Substack. And then when I came home, there was another package, a package that I wasn't expecting. And, if we loved foil before, we love foil even more now. I was not paying attention. I'm a week behind on most of my emails, especially the Substack emails. And the Tiny Onion Club did a gold foil variant for Nightmare Country for Sandman. And this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, I do have to contact Third Eye. The book is heavily damaged. Well, I want to say it's got a spine tick. It's got a really heavy-duty spine tick right over here that's not color breaking, but it's a brand new book. And the last time I ran into this with that foil Department of Truth book, they replaced it immediately. So I'll let them know that that's available, and hopefully there will be a replacement. At least it never hurts to ask, right? Third Eye does a great job packing and shipping, but sometimes maybe at the printers, books aren't handled quite as nicely as we'd like. And right there by that finger, yeah, is a spine tick, spine crease, if you will. But man, if we doubled up on some amazing foil goodness, and less than 15 minutes, we've gone through the books. Now it's time to hit up this chat because I see tons of people talking in here and hanging out. Like we said, Comic Book Principal is here. What is up? Zuni with the fist bump action for a Wednesday, and come on, Mama, right next door. There you are. Luke's Comics is in the chat. Man, who else? JLS Comics. There you go. If you guys don't know JLS, subscribe to JLS on YouTube here for tons of great comic book content. Also, subscribe to Luke's Comics channel as well, so with some great unboxings. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? There's great food, but there's no atmosphere. That is very true. Hot Zone Comics says, what's up, Andy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. JP Budget Collecting, yo, Andy, in the chat. Hello. And Sedpool from Naperville, Illinois. What is up? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Oh, come on, Mama. Still in the chat. JLS said third print had a gray top banner. Okay. So I didn't realize there was even a third print of the Star Wars Legacy #3. Interesting. I gotta keep my eyes peeled. Come on, Mama says foil. You know you need that foil, Luke says. You got to have. So that's part of the Substack, right? Like now we're starting to see kind of a return on the investment to be a part of Substack, to be that entry level Like there's a lot of risk here. Check this out, but we promise we'll deliver. Now it's really starting to deliver with that gold foil. Hopefully it's more limited than what I'm hearing, but I feel like if 1,000 people signed up and got that book, it's still like 1,000 print run or less or something like that around there. It's still pretty limited for something that's killing the children compared to the print runs. Just open your diamond shipment. I need to look at my, yeah. So everybody take a look at the Mac packs. If you're interested in those or you have one in your pull list, double check that. I don't know how we doubled up on issue 11, but that's a great issue to double up on in that Mac pack because, like we said, first appearance of the old dragon. That's awesome. Spawn, Prince, Comics. What was your pick of this week? And you know what? When it comes to reading, man, I got to think about that for a minute. What was my pick of the week? I'm going to have to go with Sandman. As far as that's my first DC pick of the week. For reading purposes, Sandman was really good. As far as cover pick, I was going to pick the Raza Star Wars Darth Vader 22, that Raza Chewbacca cover was going to be like my cover pick of the week. Read of the week is going to be Sandman, though. Right now, cover pick of the week is going to be that Sandman Tiny Onion exclusive because that thing is dope looking. It is a great book. JP says, I better take a sip of water here. JP says, I lost 3 fingers in my right hand, so I asked my doctor, would I still be able to write with it? He said, maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. You can at least count to 2. But there's Come On Mama dropping JLS's comics, a link for YouTube. That is awesome. Thank you so much. A Town Terror called Terror was a good read this week. I didn't hear anything about that book, actually. I don't think any of us even picked it on Sandman's Comics News Weekly when we did the roundup of new comic book day books. I think I may have not been listening. Maybe one of those guys picked it. I feel like that's something that I might read digitally. Speaking of digital, you guys will notice on the thumbnail for today's episode and the title, Farmhand is on there. Issue 16 of Farmhand is out. I made the conscious decision to leave that one on the shelf, and there was only a couple left. I said, I think I'm going to be happier reading Farmhand digitally. So I'm going to be looking for Farmhand on Comixology. Or maybe I might even wait till the trade comes out and I can read it on Hulu through my library. Either way, I enjoy Rob Guillory's work a lot, and Farmhand, I'm excited to have that back. But in the same fashion, we talked about being a little bit more responsible on New Comic Book Day, which means we can have a little bit more fun with some back issue stuff, maybe a couple more bags and boards, some other things. So we had a whopping like $60 New Comic Book Day. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty good. That's within that $50 budget that I want to set for myself. It's not within the budget exactly, but you guys know what I mean. We're making progress on being a little bit more responsible in New Comic Book Day. Where else are we at? There's the channel for Luke's Comics. Come on, Mama's dropping that. Absolutely. Kenneth Bird, what is up, man? Thanks for being here. Hi to everybody in the chat tonight. Mojo Quid, late as always, but I am here. Yes, you are never late because we will always go through the books twice for the people that do arrive shortly into the show. JP's Budget Collecting says, I applied for a job hanging mirrors, but it's something I could see myself doing. I saw that one earlier today, and that was hilarious. Comic Book Therapy, one of the best names out there in YouTube. What is going on? Of course, Luke, come on, Mama says. So those are the first round of books. We'll get into those round of books again one more time here in just a little bit, but I want to try something a little bit different. As we continue to pick up fewer and fewer books, what we're trying to do is we're going to look at some of the books we chose not to pick up and talk about why we didn't pick them up. The books that didn't make it to the LCS, whether it be damages or whether they sold out or they were gone on Tuesday. So kind of what we do a little bit on Sandman's Comics News Weekly, except we're going to be addressing some of your guys' questions directly in the chat instead of going round table about everybody's picks because it's just moi and you guys here. So let's do this right now and get into this for a couple minutes before we get back into that round of books in the chat one more time. So here we are. We've got ourselves League of New Comic Geeks, and let's just go ahead and make sure that we, right here, nope, issue sorting. Let's go down to alphabetical A to Z. So All Guts, No Glory had a really cool cover, and I'm going to go right down the list, and I'm going to look at you guys in the chat here to prompt what some of your picks were, and we can take a quick look. Got a new pair of sneakers from my dealer today, but I kept tripping. Oregon YMC, it says, I think he laced them with something. You are correct. I hope everything's doing well for you with your family members too. All love and all your family members. Thank you, Kenneth. Yes, same to you and to yours, man. Hope everybody's doing well at the homestead. My boss hates when I shorten his name. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Yep. That one, that's a good one too. That's an oldie, but a goodie. So moving right along, I know there was a lot of people reading DC this week, but I will say that I only picked up that Sandman read. What did the grape do when they stepped on? When he got stepped on, he let out a little wine. Oh, God. All right. Books. Angel 4. Surprisingly, Angel is a series that not a lot of people are talking about. This is one that I definitely want to read digitally as we try to trim back on the physical amount of books that we're picking up. And pretty decent looking 1 in 50. I love the colors in that 1 in 50. Almost kind of has a once and future vibe going on with it. And I know there's some Superman fans out here. Miles Morales Spider-Man. Some people were talking about issue 37 potentially having a new character, but I think it's issue 38 is what everybody's confirming. But issue 37, there could have been a tertiary or secondary character first appearance, maybe. Who knows? I didn't pick up the book. I didn't read it. You guys tell me if you read it or if you're about to pick it up. We're going to pick it up this week. I'm very curious to see how that pans out. I should be reading Miles. I should just go ahead and add Miles to the pull list, but I feel like at the point of issue 37, I missed out on so much that I may have missed out on too much. So like we said, Darth Vader 22, good read this week. And like oh no, it's not this. The Raza variant was for Star Wars then. So that was the cover B. I did not grab the cover B. I did not grab the 1 in 25. I thought the Raza was the 1 in 50. So the 1 in 25, I don't know if it's Encino. No. Either way, the 1 in 25 wasn't a cover that I really wanted to add to the collection. And issue, oh yeah, it is Raph. Not a cover I wanted to add to the collection. In issue 22, I didn't realize I didn't really think there was going to be a whole lot going on. It ended up being a good read. In fact, cover A I like better than the rest of them. Cover A was pretty dope. As Star Wars, or not Star Wars, but as Darth Vader pretty much takes the helm when it comes to controlling Crimson Dawn and the Empire and putting them at each other's throats. So Waiter asked how I liked my steak. I told him like winning an argument with my wife. He said, rare it is. I actually used that one at work a couple of times today. It didn't quite slap as much as I had hoped it would, but it went over pretty good. Yeah, nice Vader cover. I think the cover A was one of my favorites, actually. So, and the wrong screen. There we go. So Star Wars 22, actually. Oh, did I forget? Apparently, I forgot to grab Star Wars 22 because I was going to sit down and read this tonight, and there'll be plenty of copies to grab there, but I'm not quite sure about that. This wasn't there. I probably didn't order any or get any, but this is kind of the, is this John Tyler Christopher himself as a Rebel Commando? Interesting. I don't think that one's going to catch much of a following unless you're a devout action figure variant collector. But here's the Raza variant. And I thought it was for Vader, but no, it was for Star Wars 22. That was the one that I was looking for. And I think they said that one was damaged. Either way, the Reese variant has a really good look to it as well. This one was not available on the shelf. I just got to my LCS too late. A nice little Afra piece on the cover there. Super cool. Like we said, we're trimming back. And surprisingly, there were no Sprouse variants. So either those got damaged. In fact, I'm going to hit up the guys at my LCS. This is a cover I do want to get a couple of copies of and actually get graded because we've got Rey and we've got Kylo Ren. And it is a good looking. Some people just don't like these Sprouse variants. I, for one, am a fan of these Sprouse variants. They get some really good detail. In this, if my understanding, I think I heard Brian McClay correctly, this is the last Sprouse variant. That's the last Sprouse variant. I think Sprouse is going on to doing ratios, either the 1 in 25 or the 1 in 50 going forward. I thought about going on an all almond diet, but that's just, oh God. Yeah, that's just nuts. That is just nuts. So you guys in the chat, share some of the reads you were picking up as we continue to go down here. We'll make this quick as I'm trying to remember. Okay, so Black Panther 5 I did not grab. I think some people in the chat and Brian's show yesterday were saying that this is potentially the second appearance of Tosin, and I don't know if that's accurate. Thought we already had the second appearance, as one of my friends had said. But maybe it's one of those first cameo, first full, second full appearance, like he said. I don't know. I'm not reading. I didn't read past issue 2. Either way. Do. Phenomena. Do. So Breakout. What else? There's Elektra, Dark Beach. Dark Beach I did not see on the shelf from Behemoth. I kind of want to read that. I'd probably read it digitally. Well, so Farmhand. Farmhand we're going to read digitally. Yes. Good to have them back. I feel like it's been a year and a half since we've seen Farmhand on the shelf anywhere. So I'm really curious. I'm going to have to go back and reread the first 15 issues before I even... That's another reason that led me to want to just leave that issue on the shelf. It's because I've got 15 issues to reread to get caught up after they've been gone so long. Kind of felt it kind of felt, not the most responsible thing to spend money on that cover when it's going to sit here while I wait to get caught up. So by the time I do get caught up, either another trade's going to be out or I'll be able to read it digitally. I can read it digitally now, but you guys know what I mean. So that's one thing I wish I could do on League of New Comic Geeks is permanently keep it alphabetical instead of every time you go back and forth, it resets it. What else? What else were people talking about? I'm trying to remember. There was a couple more, but I think that the Last Flight Out, that kind of rounds it out. There's Miles Morales, Spider-Man. There's some other covers that people were talking about, but nothing that I was able to see at the shop, unfortunately. So Sandman, we'll dig into Sandman here real quick because there's cover A, but the book everybody was after was this cardstock 1 in 100 Jenny Frison, and it's absolutely phenomenal cover. This is a book to watch on the secondary market. Keep an eye on this over the next couple of weeks and see if this holds. You guys tell me. I don't know if the Sandman Universe Nightmare Country #1 or the Nightmare Country, I don't know if that's going to be an ongoing series or if that's going to be a miniseries or a maxi series. I haven't delved into the emails to find out what Tinian's plans are for this. But if this is going to be an ongoing series, and more than likely it'll probably be a maxi series. Knowing the way DC's been going and the way Tinian's been going, it'll probably be a 12-issue maxi series. Keep an eye on that book. If you really want that book, if that's a cover you really want, keep an eye on that in a year's time from now. See if that book's going to dip down and give you an opportunity to add that to your collection after all of the hype, after all the FOMO, after everything else. Keep an eye on that and look for that cyclic kind of increase and decrease. Another one of the covers that I think people were talking about was this almost a bit of an homage. It's got that trade from the original series. And that was super cool. I did not see that. I was looking for that one at the LCS. Luke says that cover's fire. It is. My housemates are convinced their house is haunted. I've lived there. I've used that one at work all week. I've lived there for 300 years is what I say, and never noticed anything strange. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they would be bagels and they would be delicious. Yes. And when we were scrolling down looking at these covers, I had no idea that this was a Tiny Onion exclusive. Because like I said, I hadn't caught up on the emails. And Brian's like, isn't there a Tiny Onion exclusive? I said, I don't think there's anything to do with Tiny Onion. I think it's just Tinian's writing the book. And lo and behold, I was wrong. So if you hover over this, and if I would have done that yesterday, you'd see that little black box of text pop up says Nick Robles Gold Foil Onion Club exclusive variant. Voila. There it is. So this one was really cool looking. They did have this at the LCS, but I just kind of hesitated and don't know if I'll go back and get it. I might. So this is a character on the cover that you're seeing here. This character, if Corinthian, if I remember correctly, first appearance, Sandman issue 10 is kind of like the god of nightmares, or not even a god. You can't call him a god. He's the guy that controls nightmares in the Sandman universe. And he was created by Sandman himself, right? So this is a pretty interesting character to follow. Like I said, pretty gory issue, adult content for sure. But we're at the 29-minute mark. So let's get out of this real quick here. Peruse that chat again real quick. Let's hit up the books for all the people that are coming in just a little bit late. Zuni with the $5 super chat from Mission 22. Thank you for the mission of 2022. We're going to support Mission 22. So all channel monetization, all super chats, all super stickers will be donated to Mission 22. And we'll need to do something here soon because the first quarter is over. And we kind of talked about adding definition to whether we were going to do once a quarter, twice a year, or a 1-year donation. It's not really quite sure what would be more beneficial. But I know that the more we talk about it, the better. And if somebody could drop that link for Mission 22 in the chat for everybody watching now or watching on the replay to hit that up. The link is down below in the show description as well. Make sure that you hit expand on that and check out all the links down there. He is a nightmare. Interesting. Okay, yeah. It's been a hot minute since I've read Sandman, but I know they depict in Nightmare Country, they depict Sandman creating him, actually, for a moment there in the art. Hi, Josh Harrison, how goes it, everybody? How are you, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Happy New Comic Book Day. We're going to go through these books one more time, and it's going to be fast. And we've got a stealth book over here, apparently, because good gravy. Obi the Gray, what is up? Good to see you on a Wednesday, man. Why did the spoon come to the party dressed as a knife? The invitation said to look sharp. Oh, nope, back up. Nope. That one's coming home. And I'm going to do the old man easy method and just save that right to the phone so I don't have to try to remember or look at the show later. Saved right to the phone. That's going to be a good one. Steve Messenger Art. Steve, what is good? Thanks for being here. For those of you that don't know Steve Messenger, somebody please share his Instagram link in the chat so people can follow him. Welcome to Steve for the 22nd of this month. So where did my thing go? That is not this Friday, but the Friday after. Steve's going to be drawing a sketch cover live on the Whatnot app on Friday Night Fire. And the 22nd is Indie Week. So we're going to be bringing a ton of great indie reads. Steve has a passion for some Star Wars art going on right now. So I think he's talked about potentially looking at a Star Wars piece. And for those of you that are here watching the channel, I know there are plenty of other Star Wars fans. So be sure to click on the bookmark buttons for the 16th, or no, that's Saturday, the 15th to this week, the 22nd, and the 29th. We've got auctions set up for the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. And then I do believe the 6th of next month, May the 4th, be with you. It's going to be Star Wars week. So that should be a big fandom event starting that first week of May, which is going to be super cool. Nightmare, I thought Mephisto was the villain. Nightmare was Mephisto? Wait, what? Are we talking about two different books here? Either way. What did the cop say to the man peeing in public? You're in trouble. There is Steve Messenger's Instagram link. Please hit that below. Click on that and hit follow. Does like dinner. Does like dinner, yes. Does like dinner. Yeah, does like dinner. So there you go. Let's get back into these books real quick as we pull these down. Like we said, some great finds and a surprise package. And voila. We're going to actually take 30 seconds, put everything back in order. We're going to deliver the experience to everybody showing up tonight, right? So without further ado, I present to you guys the first DC pickup, and I don't even know how long. Months. Done like dinner. Done like dinner. There you go. The first DC pickup in months. Sandman Nightmare Country #1. I enjoyed it as a read. This is my read of the week. There's a cover in here that I wish I would have found, and that's that Frizzen 1 in 100. Even if I found it, I probably would have not liked the price. I didn't realize that Frizzen 1 in 100 was selling for over $200 on the secondary market before New Comic Book Day. I don't know what's going to happen now. It's a 1 in 100. It's a pretty high ratio book for DC. When was the last time you saw a high ratio variance for DC? I don't recall. I haven't been following it that hard on DC. So Nightmare Country #1. Fun read. I can't wait to see where that goes. But that's it. That's it for DC. We roll into Marvel, and Electra 100 is out and hits the reading pile. And when was the last time you saw 8 creators accredited on the cover? That's quite the stack of creators there. Interesting. So I'm not quite sure if there's something to that. I don't feel like that happens super often. But Declan Shelby's on there. It was super cool. Rosenberg's on there as well. 2 very familiar names when it comes to like Punisher stuff. And then Shelby was big on some Moon Knight stuff in the past. So still with Marvel. But Darth Vader, you see, that's why I wanted to pause. And I'm like, why is the Marvel section so small this week? I'm like, there should be another Marvel book. And it's because I forgot to grab Star Wars issue 22. Is it issue? They're both lining up to be issue 22s this month. Wow. So Darth Vader 22. like I said, Pack's doing a great run, a great job with this run. I'm really enjoying this. I mean, you've got Crimson Dawn and the Imperial Army. Wow, Monday has definitely turned into a Wednesday, or Wednesday has definitely turned into a Monday. The Empire and Crimson Dawn at each other's throats, and Darth Vader's at the helm running Crimson Dawn now. So everybody's playing everybody's side. You got Ochi's playing like 8 different sides. I mean, it's crazy. It's going nuts. It's a little kind of hard to follow. There could be a little bit more detail or depth in the story, but why do geologists hate their jobs? They get taken for granted. That's a good one. It was 200. It was in my poll, but passed on it. If you passed on it, somebody else picked up on it, because by the time I got there today, there were no issues available. But man, I would pass on it too for 200. I mean, I'm going to put that FOMO in the back pocket and look for that book to drop in time, and hopefully pick up a copy later, because Frozen Art's great. That would be a great cover to have her remark on and sign at a show. Why did you? Yes, I'm trying to collect all the Sandman Overture 1 in 100, 1 in 200 covers. Oof, dude, hell yeah. That Vader cover is sick. Just a little sad you didn't get that sweet Rebel Commando variant. Steve, please tell me you're messing with me. It looks so computerized. It looks so digitized. I don't know. Double O, what is up, man? We are through the second round of the books, and we'll get in announcements again, and we'll hop back on League of New Comic Geeks. Maybe I just keep that in the segment in the middle of the show there. I was debating a flat earther the other day, and he stormed off saying he would walk to the edge of the earth to prove me wrong. I'm sure he will come around eventually. Oh, God. To be fair, what is it, like 80% of the world's surface is covered in seawater, and seawater is not carbonated. Therefore, the earth is technically flat. So moving into Andy's Last Flight Out 6. The Last Flight Out issue 6 is out. Tongue tire there. And I don't know what exactly what I predicted, I hope was not going to happen, and it's that they try to do too much and too little. The pacing suffers because there's too much ground to cover between issues 3 and 6, or 4 and 6. And there's a whole kind of like segment of one of the books that probably, if they had this entire series fleshed out or storyboarded, and if they had the whole 6 issues storyboarded, they probably would have knocked out a big chunk of it, so that they would have had a better issue 5 and better issue 6 when it comes to pacing. Because I remember, without spoiling things too much, and I think it's issue 3 or issue 4, they go on a whole field trip to raid some compound to save one character in the story, and spend the better part of an entire issue, almost an entire issue, saving that one character from this compound of rebels. And it's like, that either didn't need to be a thing, or it could have been implied, or a couple of pages. They cost themselves like 10 to 12 pages of story real estate, if you will. And this issue suffers because of that. Now you've got an issue where the ending is way more predictable than I wanted it to be. And then the last 2 pages are time jumps through years to see kind of what happens. And unfortunately, that's kind of sad. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. Guggenheim, as we know, is a skilled writer. I think this came down to having a really good idea, but not having the entire scope of the story ready and finalized before going and starting and locking this in as a 6-issue miniseries. Maybe that call was entirely out of Guggenheim's hands, and he wanted to do a maxi series and was told he couldn't. He had to do it in 6, so he had to change his whole game plan up. That's possible, and that may have happened in issue 4 or somewhere during the production of issue 3. Who knows? Either way, still, I'm glad I picked it up, glad I've read it, and I'm going to enjoy that and keep that in the PC for a while. Last book you'll ever read is essentially going to be one of the last books that I ever read, because it continues to hit the reading pile. And I've added it to the pull list because it's a Cullen Bunn title, but the covers don't draw me in enough to make me want to make this a priority in my weekly reads. So now I've got 7 issues that I haven't read yet. But either way, it's Cullen Bunn, and if you enjoy Cullen Bunn writing, you're more than likely going to enjoy something. So I'm feeling pretty confident that when I get to this and when I want to read it, I'm going to enjoy it. That means we are on to the Mac Pack, the Mac Daddy of Mac Packs, and it's issues 11 through 15 in that David Mack pack for Something is Killing the Children. And it's awesome because, as we know, issue 11 is the first appearance of Old Dragon. And somehow this Mack pack doubled me up with 2 copies. 2 copies. Retail price for the Mack pack is $39.99. Plus, I got my 20% off discount at my LCS, so it dropped it to $32. And then I get an additional copy of 11. So there's some major value in this. So less than $10 retail, minus the extra copy, less than $10 retail for David Mack variants for Something That's Killing the Children is pretty solid price tag for Mack variant covers. Mack variant covers, if we've known, have gone for quite a bit more depending on the title and what's going on there. So there are some pretty devout David Mack collectors out there. And I am super stoked that I got 2 copies of issue 11 in the single Mack pack, and then issue 12. You guys know what's in there. Issue 11 through 15. Issue 13, I love the black bordering around here. I love the reds and the pinks and the contrasting yellows. So that was 13. And then issue 14, I love the kind of duality between the reds and the blues here. It's almost like good versus evil, or heaven versus hell kind of look to it in the background. And then issue 15. Right there. God, I love those colors. I love David Mack's work. I really do. I don't collect enough David Mack stuff. I really should, but in the same fashion, like we said, we're trying not to overburden ourselves with collection or collecting books that just kind of live in a box and we don't get to see. We're trying to make the space down here in the ComicManAndy, Comic Cave, and Comic Dojo a place where we can come down and look around and enjoy a lot of books. That's why the background here is set up as the way it is, because as much as you guys look at the screen, I am looking at the screen as much as you guys are, and I get to see and rotate books in and out, and I really enjoy that. I've got a whole section of real estate over here that I've got all of the shelves for that I need to get done this summer. And obviously the Canto wall is coming along very nicely. That's really cool because we can have that art displayed over there. So we got a nice little back issue pickup, Star Wars Legacy issue 3. So like we said, the barcode says 0300311, which leads me to believe this is the first print. But I thought the white background was the second print. So maybe the darker background was the first print, or was the second print. Maybe this is the first print. And then somebody in the chat earlier said that the gray top border was the third print. I didn't even know there was a third print of this book. Tons of first appearances, and this book could be 9.4 or better in its current state, and I think it could do even better than that with a light cleaning of the white cover, because obviously these Dark Horse books, they're not cardstock, they're not protected very well, and yeah, they can pick up dirt pretty quick. But I did not have this issue, so I'm happy to have this issue, and we've got the other issues 1 through 6. This completes that, issues 1 through 6 now, and we'll be picking up the rest of those this weekend, hopefully, as that pans out. But wait, there's more. We talked about this stealth variant, and well, I goofed it up. I should have. No. This thing has been so difficult to take a picture of, and I was so happy when this came in. Something is Killing the Children, Tiny Onion gold foil exclusive here for issue 21. I was so excited when this came in. I was like, I got to take a picture. I spent 4 or 5 days trying to get a good picture with lighting, and I keep getting reflections. And then I think it was the Ninth Wonder, or maybe it was Vintage Comics and Toys, told me about taking a 10-second video and changing up the lighting. I don't know. I'll try something. I got something decent put up for IG, and I think part of my problem is I put it in Mylar. I was so proud of this book, getting this book. I was like, this is going to look really good on Mylar. And I think I kind of shot myself in the foot putting that in Mylar. But if I love foil, you know I love a double foil header on Wednesday, because lo and behold, this showed up on the doorstep today too, and I wasn't even expecting it because I just hadn't caught up on the Tiny Onion Club newsletter emails. And because I didn't pay enough attention, I didn't see that. And League of New Comic Geeks is that was listed as the Tiny Onion exclusive available. Unfortunately, this one did arrive damaged, so I'm going to contact Third Eye to see if we can get this replaced. It's got a spine crease over here. Not terrible. This would still land in a 9.4, maybe even a 9.6 if there's nothing else wrong with this book. But it's kind of one of those things. If it arrived damaged, and if there is a replacement copy available, we're going to hit them up and see if we can get the replacement. Same exact thing. Exact same thing happened with the Department of Truth Tiny Onion foil exclusive that arrived from Third Eye not too long ago. Exact same place. Exact same style crease. So somebody somewhere in the chain of command with packing or receiving or unboxing or printing and packing at the printers, somebody could use a little extra training when it comes to handling comic books. You know what I mean? because this could potentially just be a human error. I highly doubt that this would be a printing error. Printers don't usually cause spine creases kind of right in the middle there. This looks like one of those where somebody may have been feeling or filing through and just kind of grabbing and pulling and tugging a little bit. Either way, like we said, if there are replacement copies available, we're going to ask that question and see what they say. So that's new comic book day. And oh my, even with a smaller amount of books and a little bit of different formatting, we've gone for 45 minutes. So we're going to hit up this chat again real quick and know that there is a lot going on. It is going to be a super early day tomorrow. So that's why we stuck with that 8:30. I almost pushed to 8 p.m. to try to be done a little bit earlier to get out of the chair, get some rest. The last book is a pretty decent read, he says. I got to think about for a minute what issue or what title. What do you call bears with no ears? Oh, my Lord, B. Oh, that's bad. I got to remember that one. That one's really good. Steve was messing with me. Good to see you, man. That last book was pretty decent read. Hot Zone says, Andy, have you seen Grimm? It was FOC last week. Covers are amazing. I've seen Grimm, and I looked at it, and the first thing that came to my mind, Hot Zone, was it's potentially a hot book of the week. Yeah, there's some good covers. It's another Image #1, so they're playing towards that the group of collectors that collect #1s for probably the possibility of option news or something like that. They're speculating. What about Grimm gives it the pillar stones that need for a book to have long-term legs and growth when you're building a modern collection? For me, when I see that, I see a couple of cool covers. I see a #1 that's going to be talked about for a week or two, and I don't see the book having legs beyond a month or two or a couple of months. I don't think it's going to be as bad as some books we've seen. Maybe it might hold some secondary on some stuff that's rare, but I see Image pumping out a bunch of ratios or exclusives for a title that honestly isn't getting a lot of press and is not getting a lot of advertisement. They're not getting that book's name out there very often or very much, as far as I can tell. I haven't seen it anywhere. And you guys know how often I'm on YouTube and social media and producing shows and looking up content and looking up other things and watching other people's content. You are literally the only person, maybe one other person, that's asked me about Grimm. Nobody else in the community has talked to me about Grimm, or I've seen people talking about Grimm. So I feel like it might be a flash in the pan. I, for one, will probably read cover A, maybe borrow it from a friend. Maybe it'll be one of those ones where I peek at the art in the LCS and then decide. But I don't know, man. I got warning bells going off in my head that tell me not to want to get into that book hardcore at all. Did you hear about the mathematician who's afraid of negative numbers? He'll stop at nothing to avoid them. Wow, so there were 6 books in your 5-issue Mac pack. Yes. That's the crazy thing. When they handed it to me, I'm like, this feels I don't remember the Mac pack being that heavy. I look at the back, issues 11 through 15. All right. But I didn't stop and actually count the books in there. So check your Mac packs, everybody. If your LCS has stacks of Mac packs, say that 5 times fast. Check those stacks of Mac packs for some extra Mac pack love and see if there's double it up on any issues. So I was shocked and surprised to see 2 of issue 11. I checked all 4 of our slaughter packs, no extra books. So it's probably a fluke for me. I got lucky. The universe smiled. What up, my man? That book looks freaking awesome. Rhinoverse, make sure that you guys tune into Rhinoverse. Tune into Rhinoverse. Coming up here in about 15 more minutes, he is doing a massive Grail CGC unboxing live on Facebook or live on his YouTube channel. And if you're live on your YouTube channel, you should be using StreamYard, making sure that you're multi-streaming to Facebook and Twitch as well, man, so that you're getting out there so people can find your great content. And I can't wait to catch this on the replay. It is an epic book that he's been hunting for and searching for. So show Rhinoverse some love. And if Come On Mom or anybody's in the chat can drop his channel link here so people can subscribe to him and follow him. That's coming up in like 10 or 11 minutes. Nice Sandman foil. Yes, it turned out great. But like I said, we're going to try to get a replacement. I'm going to try to remember to email them tomorrow while I'm at work. What do you do when a lemon gets sick? Oh, no. You give them lemonade. That one's legit. That one's legit. It's Boom. I think the premise is cool, and it's Stephanie Phillips writing. I don't know anything about Stephanie Phillips. I don't know anything about Stephanie Phillips, unfortunately, and that's my own fault. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. but I'm not going to pre-order. I didn't pre-order any, and I don't have it on my pull list. I'm just going to see what's available at my LCS when I get there. This looks exactly like a lot of Image #1 titles that when they hit, my LCS clears out an entire wall and puts an entire wall worth of books up from Image #1. I might take a picture when that thing comes out and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. It's nuts. There's a lot of collectors that love buying Image #1s in my area. Maybe not a spec book in that aspect. I'm looking at it as a comic. It's just really piqued my interest. It might be a really good read, which is why I said I'm going to take a quick peek at the art, maybe, or maybe just grab the cover A, or maybe read it digitally. I don't know. We're going to take a peek at it, but we're looking into going into this is going to be going forward is going to be the slow season for comic books. And remember, as spring starts to hit and summer starts to hit, traditionally, people in this country get outdoors. They grill, they go fishing, they go kayaking, they do all sorts of outdoor sports. People tend to spend less time and less money on comic books and comic book collecting besides us hardcore collectors. So at anything that Image is going to be putting out over the next 3 or 4 months, that's going to be #1, or they're going to be putting out a lot of ratios, they're going to be very tame about it, in my opinion. And I hope that this might not be as big or as grand of as of a release as what we've seen in the past. So it kind of depends. We'll see, right? The jury's kind of out for me. What did one eye say to the other? Something between us smells. Yes, it's 9 p.m. Central. So that's actually in about 40 minutes. 40 minutes. So somebody dropped, there it is right there. Come on, mama, dropping the link to Rhino versus YouTube channel. So make sure that you hit subscribe and check that content out. Second Street Marvel popping in late. What is up, brother? Good to see you. Grim is Boom. Now, okay, okay, yes. So Grim is Boom. My bad. And this is another warning flag for me. Boom is going to do Boom things, and Boom is going to put out a ton of covers. So me as a completionist collector on a book that I think I might just want to read later, I'm going to stick that FOMO in the back pocket and wait and see what happens with this. You know what I mean? Boom is one of those. I love Boom books to death. I love their quality. I think they do a fantastic job selecting creative teams and selecting books to publish, but they do an even better job at marketing and producing variants. And me as a completionist collector who tends to all too often do way more than I can handle in a given week, gets caught up in that. So there's another reason why I'm going to wait and see what happens with this. I'm still buying all covers, all copies, all printings of Berserker, which we're almost done with Berserker. I'm committed to seeing that one through. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy for that one, but I enjoy it. And I'm still buying all covers, all copies of Once and Future from Boom. So I'm buying all covers and all copies now of Star Wars. Everything Star Wars comes out. I'm limited. That's my limit. I cannot physically add any more titles to my pull list and still be able to continue to keep up with the physical reading, the processing, and the storage and everything. So I'm limiting myself there, and that's another reason why I'm not going to be ordering any Grimm books. But yeah, I'm going to at least peek at the cover A, or at least read the book in my LCS, at least the first couple of pages. I feel kind of guilty if I read it cover to cover, then put it back on the shelf and don't buy it. I feel kind of guilty about that. Hulk, smash that like button. Luke Comics says, absolutely. Black Sheep Comic Collector, welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Tune in and hang out for live content every Monday, every Wednesday, and we give you guys updates here for the Whatnot auctions that we do over on Whatnot. We're approaching 2,000 followers on Whatnot. The Whatnot community is growing twofold faster than the YouTube community. Maybe it's just the algorithm. Maybe it's just the way things work. Maybe it's because everybody there is looking for comic books and essentially not everybody on YouTube is looking for comic books. But the content over there is going well, and the following is going gangbusters. There are many people out there that stream twice as much as I do that are hitting 4,000, 5,000 followers, 6,000 followers, and it is absolutely epic. It's good stuff to see that community growing. But yes, like we said, we'll be there this Friday doing a small Whatnot auction, and we've got Whatnot auctions lined up for the next 3 Fridays. And it'll actually, I might have to change up the schedule a little bit, because if I think about it, that would have us doing Whatnot auctions every Friday for the next 4 Fridays. See if we can keep that locked and loaded right there for you guys, because that's going to be a blast. If you guys have been to one of the Whatnot auctions, you guys know I have as much, if not more fun than you guys do, and we have a really good time. Why do bikes fall over? Because they're too tired. That is true. That is true. You are absolutely crazy to still be buying Berserker at that rate. They've toned it back a little bit too, and now that we're on the back end, less people are ordering it. I feel like scarcity might get a little bit higher. Like, look at a la carte once in future, so to speak. People dropped once in future after like the first, I don't know, after issue 8, after issue 9 or issue 10, people started to really taper off on that. And some of the rarest covers for once in future and some of the prettiest covers for once in future are now in that span of issue 10 to like issue 20. And some of the 1 in 25s are rare and really tough to find, to the point where I couldn't even find some of them. But yeah, I enjoy Berserker. I hope they improve the pacing. I hope it does well. You're looking at a book that's essentially being created to create more content on screen. So we'll see what happens with that. At least I'm going to continue checking out and seeing it through. I was committed from the beginning of sticking with that, and I made that commitment. I didn't realize that Boom was going to go super ham fist with the covers. And I've noticed that like last issue, there was only a couple. It wasn't like 6 or 7 or 8 from them. So I'm anticipating it being a much more manageable process for the last few issues to see how that story ends. But you, Andy JP says, yeah, we all be we all be we. Either way, buy what you love and you'll love what you'll buy at the end of the day, as people have said. And Two Brothers Comics says it well also. Buy your way. You know, Whatnot is the future. Whatnot has been a ton of fun, and that community is going gangbusters out there. JP's, it was crazy or berserk. Oh, yeah, that's true. What do you call a nun in a wheelchair? The rest of the community is getting in on this now. Virgin Mobile. Oh, don't let that one roll away on you, Black Sheep. Yes. So the tail end of the show here, announcements, like we said, there's a Whatnot auction scheduled for every Friday. In fact, I'm going to pop in and schedule that one for May 6th. That's going to be a super fun Star Wars week going on there. Any local shows, I gotta look, but that show in Novi, or that show in that one that you and I have met up at almost every month, I want to go back to there. There's a couple of dealers there that I've been hounding to bring certain books, and they keep promising, and I keep setting money aside to pick up those books. So hopefully that happens. Motor City Comic Con is next month as well. We are locked and loaded for that. In fact, that's one of the things we got to do tonight is actually finish ordering tickets. I keep forgetting to do that. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Motor City last year was in the fall and I didn't feel the pressure to get those ordered. But Motor City is coming up soon, and that is going to be a blast. The CEO of the Comic Dojo is potentially looking at doing her first cosplay of Ahsoka there, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that go. Same on Long Island if you live in the area. There you go. Some on Long Island, sorry. Some on Long Island if you live in that area. What did the Buffalo say to his little boy when he left for school? He said, "Bye, son." Yep, that's a classic. This Saturday in Clawson, May 1st in Livonia. So is Clawson? Oh yeah, nope. I'm not going to make the Clawson one. That one's too far away. That one's getting down in the city area. It's going to take a lot of time to get there. The one in Livonia, if that's the one I remember where we usually meet up, and it's just that one big giant square room. That one's really easy to get there, and it's really easy to have fun with everybody, and it's really easy to hop back on the highway and be gone again. And I can make that a one-day trip. Heading to Indiana Comic Con myself this weekend. I know Skeff was talking about going to Indiana Comic Con. I'm not going to be able to make it. Some things are happening, and unfortunately, we have a pet that's not doing well that we need to stay close to for the time being. That's just kind of the way it is. Sarah is kicking butt on that cosplay. Yes, come on, Mama follows Sarah on Instagram, and she has been posting regular updates there, so that's awesome. Opinion on the $5.3 million Superman 1 8.0. My opinion is that this is not the last time we're going to see a book of that caliber break records. Least we forget, the last 10 or 15 years, there are many, many cryptocurrency millionaires out there that are just waiting for their time. Every day, a new comic book collector is born, not just physically, but mentally. And there are many people out there that have millions in cryptocurrency that just quite haven't figured out that they are into collectibles, or they're waiting for that right time. I kid you not. It's every week I hear somebody like, "Oh, I know so-and-so that sold off their cryptocurrency at such a year," and they don't do anything anymore besides invest. That's the reality of the situation is that top 1% isn't necessarily the top 1% anymore. The last 20 years has opened up cryptocurrency and many other things. If anybody remembers the dot-com bubble of the 90s where that bubble burst and people lost a ton of money, that cryptocurrency bubble never really popped. Yes, cryptocurrency went down, but it didn't become worthless, right? People cashed out, and according to there's still stories that might be clickbaity stories where people finding thumb drives hidden in their homes, or they lost with hundreds of Bitcoin on there, and instantly overnight they've got 4 million or 40 million or wherever those zeros line up. So every day or every week or every month, there's a new millionaire being born because they find the USB drive with 100 or 200 or 400 Bitcoins laying around on that thing. That's a thing. Maybe something's going to happen in the future going forward, but it seems like more and more you get those middle tier millionaires, because the top 1% are all billionaires and multi-billionaires, and I can't even grasp the concept of money at that level. But more and more millionaires are around, and they're like everybody else, where they worked for a living and now they have some money. Some people choose to continue working, but some people continue to choose working, continue to spend that newfound fortune on many things, because most of the people that invested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are our age and spent the last 10 years building a homestead or getting a house or doing this and that. So what they're doing is they're taking a very small portion of their newfound millions, and they're paying off their 200, 300, 400, 500. I mean, obviously, and housing market's way more expensive than that now, but they're paying off their homes first. They're paying off their debts. Then they're turning around. It's like, it's time to have some fun with some money. I think this sale of Superman 1 was somebody that says, this is, I don't care about FOMO. I don't care. Well, this would be FOMO, but this is the book, and they're going to have it, and they're going to pay whatever price they want to have that book. That's okay. How often are you going to see a Superman #1 8.0 come to market? And you know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's not just a fluke anymore. You're going to continue to see record-breaking prices as the collectibles market on books of that caliber continue to heat up, right? Like, you're going to see ebbs and flows with modern books. You're going to see ebbs and flows with books with high print runs and books with certain covers and stuff like that. Superman 1 is a, do you call it a gold chip at this point? It's beyond a blue chip book. It's its own universe of a book at this point. It's crazy. We'll see at Indie Josh. Yes, Steve Messenger has one of the best booths when it comes to artists in Artist Alley. You cannot miss Steve Messenger's booth. Make sure you check that out. Snap a picture, share it on social media. People, I'm impressed every time I see that booth and the amount of work it takes to break that thing down, set it back up, move it, set it back up, break it back down. You know what I mean? That is one of the most killer booths on the con circuit. I can't wait to hopefully see Steve Messenger at Motor City Comic Con next month, and potentially he'll probably do Baltimore again. We got to look for Steve Messenger's con schedule on his social media platforms, so be sure to check that out. It beat the cap #1 9.4 by almost 2 million. So somebody was duking it out with that book, or a couple of people were duking it out for that Superman book. It's obvious. I mean, that's like mine, duking it out, you know. Don't even talk about crypto. I hate that I sold my Doge last year. I think I bought a couple $100 worth of Bitcoin over the last year or two. And I'm like, oh, hey, neat. Tesla's going to take Bitcoin for their cars and sell. And really, I mean, at that point, I mean, unless you bought in for pennies on the dollar, unless you're trading pizza for Bitcoin, like they say, like they did back in the day, I mean, that's not a get rich quick thing by any means. At this point, cryptocurrency might be one of those buy and hold things in small portions to build your portfolio or expand your portfolio. The jury's still out. I still have a lot to learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies overall, but it seems like Bitcoin has the staying power to be a portion of people's portfolios. I don't know if that's right for you. I'm not saying go out and do that. I'm saying I'm going to educate myself and see if it's something to continue doing for the future. Solo Wookie, what is up? Congratulations on that epic win of those 3 Sprouse variant books this past Monday. Those, I believe, should be to you by Saturday out there in the state that you live in, out near the West Coast. That one that you live in. Stay warm. No, stay cool, not warm, because it's hot out there. Why was the math book sad? It had too many problems. Yes, that one is definitely on a math level. I will stop in and say hi, Steve. Absolutely. It always sounds funny watching on the rewind. I can't understand it, and Satan may appear. What? Oh, like backwards. Did you know one of the X-Men was an avid knitter? Oh, God. Are you serious? Wow, it was Wolverine. Ew. You better take that one and recraft it. No, thank you, my friend. You're the best. Arizona, too damn hot. Yes, there you go. So that's New Comic Book Day. We're already over the hour mark. It's time to go to bed. It's time to rest up and get up early and have a really good Thursday. Let's close out this week strong. So this connective tissue that is fantastic, right? This connective tissue that is comic books is fantastic, right? Oh my God, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Most fantastic thing each and every day are all of you in the comic book community. Continue to supporting other people. Did it again. And then watching everybody's content, creating your own content, and thereby supporting each other in the YouTube community and on IG and everywhere else. It is fantastic. You guys are amazing. Saying, you guys know how I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go pinkies out. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side for the next one. But remember, the most important part, all day, every day, be original and take care of each other. See you guys in the next one.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.